Okay, and so in this section, we're going to have quite a few videos. It's broken up quite a bit. There's a lot of things that we've done in the past and a couple new things that we're going to work with regarding factoring. So probably one of the biggest ideas here is factoring, which we've done before. These first two videos, we're just going to do some basic multiplication, get stuff in standard form. And we've done these kinds of things before, but we're doing it with polynomials that are more than just a second degree polynomials. We did this all with quadratics, now it's a little bit more than that. So maybe a cubic, quartic. So we're going to go ahead and multiply the polynomial and put it in standard form. So the first thing that I want you to look at, though, is if you think about it, this is in factored form. Okay, which is important because sometimes I ask for factored form, sometimes I ask for standard form. Now notice how many factors are there. There's 1, 2, 3. So 3 factors equals a cubic. So when we have a certain amount of factors, that tells us the type of degree that it is. We're going to go ahead and just take these guys together and put them first. There's really nothing special about it, so I'm going to go ahead and distribute. Everything gets multiplied together. So I'm foiling, which is what you guys call it. I would get this, and I just keep the x minus 3 along with it. I'm going to go ahead and simplify this piece right here. This is a 4x, not a 4a. X squared plus 3x minus 4. And now I have a trinomial right here. So each one of these 3 terms needs to be multiplied by each of these terms. So I'm going to take the x squared times the x squared times the 3, and then go to the next number, 3x times 3, negative 4 times x, negative 4 times negative 3. And I'm going to keep on doing that process. Drawing lines is going to get a little bit messy, so I'm just going to do it for the first 2. So I'm going to multiply these guys, so that would be x cubed. I'm going to multiply here. That's going to be a negative 3x squared. I'm going to repeat that process. 3x times x is a 3x squared. 3x times negative 3 is a negative 9x. Negative 4 times x is a negative 4x. And negative 4 times a negative 3 is a positive 12. So I've distributed everything, and now I'm going to combine like terms to put it in standard form. Now the way that I've organized it, I've made sure that this is in standard form, this is in standard form, and this is in standard form. So when I distribute everything, notice how it's pretty much in standard form. I just need to combine everything. So it's nice and organized when I get to the final step. These guys will cancel out. I have a negative 13x plus 12. And if I was to name this guy would be a cubic trinomial. Okay, and that's how I'm going to multiply this polynomial and put it. Okay, so now this one, we're going to go ahead and write this guy in standard form. So it's same type of example, just slightly different. One thing I would like to point out, though, is I have a quadratic and a quadratic. So that means this guy is 2 factors. This guy has 2 factors. So there's a total of 4 factors. So that means this guy is quartic, or 4th degree. Okay? So first things first, I want to talk about this piece. This means that I have 2 x minus 1's. So I'm multiplying 2 x minus 1's together. I'm going to do that first. And there's a quick way to do it, but we'll go through the process first. We're going to FOIL, right? X times x times negative 1. Basically what happens is the first term is going to be, x squared. The last term is going to be -1 times -1, which is a +1. And the middle term is the product of these guys doubled, right? What multiplies to the last term, which is 1, but adds to the middle term, so the sum. So the sum of -1 and -1 is a -2. Okay, so I'm adding these two guys together, and it gives me my middle term. So just a quick way to do it. If you don't like the quick way that I just mentioned, then just go through your foiling, and that's going to work. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'll draw it once, so I got x squared times x squared, which is x to the 4th, x squared times -3x, which is -3x cubed, x squared times 2x is 2x squared. And then we have -2x times x squared is a -2x cubed. Go back, we got 2 and -2x times a -3x. It's a positive 6x squared. And then we have a -2x times 2, -4x. And then this guy is 1 times this whole thing. So that means I'm just going to add an x squared minus 3x plus 2. I'm going to go through this, and I'm going to put together all my like terms. I'm going to do this kind of pre-algebra style in the sense of I think it's important to mark what we have. I'm going to look for things to the 4th power. That's the only one. So I got x to the 4th. I'm going to cross out what I've used already because I think it's important to make sure that you're putting everything that you need to put together. Cube, no other cubes. So -3 and a -2 is a -5x cubed. I'm going to cross these guys out. Square, square, square. So I have a 2, a 6, and a 1. So that's going to give me a positive 9x squared. I've used these. And then I have -4 and -3, which is -7x. I'm to the point where there's enough terms left where it's easy to just put them all together. And that is my polynomial in standard form. And this is a quartic polynomial. It's 4th degree, and there's a lot of different terms. There's more than 3, so we call it polynomial. And that's how we write a product. So we're just foiling. We have to do it multiple times now that we're dealing with something that has more than just 2 factors.